Thank you, madam. And sometimes it's a bit astonishing what I've done, but that has been the case, no doubt about that. If you look to the 2 days New York Times, then you will find one of the reasons why we are in the Western world, but not only in the Western world, that kind of fragmented that Mark has eloquently talking about. And if you look at that, then you will find out the following phrase: the tax bill will create inequality. And this is not finished, this process in the Congress, but it will show what kind of driving force is to be seen if we are talking about fragmentation and how to fight it. I would like to quote some of the sentences of this remarkable article of this leading liberal press in the United States of America. As things stand now, the top 1% of the population by wealth, the group that would primarily benefit from the tax bill, controls nearly 40% of the country's wealth. The bottom 90% has just 27%, according to the economists Thomas Piketty and others. And that shows that the political elite, and this is only a symbol what is going on in the United States of America, that the political elite in some of the countries in the West are dominated. Someone talked about this morning, or at his first intervention, on neoliberalism. That's true. This is naked liberalism transforming market politics into naked market with no attention to social values. But if you have in mind what made the Western world a success after the Second World War, the times of Trente Glorieuses, as the French are putting it, the first 3 decades after the Second World War, ending midst of the 70s, that you can see the success of economy plus social standards that has been linked to this process. And what we are seeing now is a growing fear of groups inside the Western world that they are decoupled from that process, decoupled from growth, and by this decoupled from social justice. And that is the reason why populists are gaining ground. Yesterday in Prague, you could witness a meeting of 3 leading populists in Europe. One has been Marine Le Pen, the leader of the French Nationals, then Gert Wilders. He is the leader of the so-called Freedom Party, and someone very new inside the Czech Republic. he is coming from a Japanese family. His father is a Japanese and coming from Japan, and he is fighting against migration. So this is the picture you could see if you go to the heart of Europe. And the heart of Europe is now in danger. And the question is, can the center hold? And I would like to reflect a bit on what has happened this year, coming to an end very soon, the year 2017. In the heart of Europe, the experience of national election leaves the observer in this year in an ambivalent uncertainty as the participant could be. In France and in Austria, one may identify two emerging role models in the search of political answers to the turbulences produced by the shortcomings of today's governance. Emmanuel Macron won over Marine Le Pen because he has been able to mobilize the instinctive majority from the center left to the center right against the extremism of the right. It has been a kind of an instinctive majority because most of them who voted for him had in mind that they would like to defend the Fourth Republic, France Republic, against the attacks of the right, of the national right. And he succeeded. If you are going down and looking what he is serving now, what he is doing, then you could question some of his actions now. But up to now, he is showing that kind of model that he, Emmanuel Macron, invented a new platform. Some can call it party, but it is not that kind of a party system that we are witnessing and have been witnessing until this movement came to the fore. It's not a kind of a traditional party system, a European style party system, but it links the idea that a movement from below is there to be organized and bound together with traditional structures of party systems. So this is a very new phenomenon that you could see here in France. He gained the majority of different reasons. The aspiration he evoked is and could be that the capitalist system could be refounded again. So this is the driving force behind. This is one model that you could see in one of the most exciting elections in Europe. The other model you could see in Austria. A very young party member of a traditional oriented Volkspartei, conservative party in Austria, is crossing lines. Could be that he followed the idea that Macron has presented, to combine a traditional party line with a mobilization from the ground. This is not the ÖVP as we knew this party, but is a new phenomenon, a new party system. And the question will be, are these two new types the ones that will be developing in a new frame, or will these two types showing the shortcomings because they are not tackling the real problems, as I mentioned from the beginning, the polarization inside society? So we will see, but these two types are now fighting each other. One is social liberal, that is Macron, and the other is a combination of two right-wing parties. One is the populist Freie Demokratische Partei, kind of leading to the right liberal party, very conservative, populist-oriented. You may remember the name of Haider, that has been the leading guy in the beginning of this party, new party, FPÖ, and Strache is now the leading figure. So these two types are now coming to the forefront in two Western European countries. If you go a little bit more to the east, you will find Viktor Orban in Hungary, you will find in Poland, and you will find in other places in Eastern Europe kind of the same picture, that this new type of democracy, they call themselves, as Viktor Orban put it, illiberal democracy, that these new types of democracies are now the talk of the town. And the question is and will be, are these new types, these types that are winning, or are these new types only a transformation to a different new type that we will see in the future? This is a question, and nobody knows how this works. But the problems that you could see is that they are trying to give answers to the unrest of the people, and as long as they are not focusing to deal and how to deal with this unrest and not delivering new reform-oriented agendas, then they will fall back. And that's what we are seeing in Trump, United States of America, that the polarization processes between rich and poor are much more stronger to be seen in the future than we are seeing it today. And what will then come? Nobody knows. What then really will be the outcome of this? If these two role models are not delivering what the people are searching for, is there a turn to be seen to much more radicalization to the right? Question mark. This is not out of any question. Some commentators dealing with the German election are asking, is Berlin-Weimar? Question mark. And you may remember Weimar, that has been the model after the First World War to create a new democracy here in Germany, and this has ended in disaster and the victory of Hitler. And then Auschwitz has been the last terrible exit of humanity leading to barbarism. So this is a serious question. Can Berlin be now the election that we have seen in this year, can this be the model for something much worse than we have seen up to now? Well, my short answer is no. And there is some ground to make this clear that Berlin is not Weimar. And the reason is democracy in this country is well founded. There is a viral civil society there. There are strong parties that could hold the center. Although the alternative for Germany, the AfD, right-wing group, has now roughly around about 15% in several regions in Germany, much more than this. In Saxony, this has been the strongest party, more than the Christian Democrats had. So that means there are in several regions of Germany a strong populist-oriented right-wing party with crossing lines to neo-Nazism. This is quite clear. And the question will be whether the center, the center left and the center right in Germany are both ready to combine their forces. That means that roughly around about 80% of the electorate represented in the parliament, German Bundestag, are they strong enough to create that kind of strength, political, cultural, that the center can hold? Well, it depends, I would say. It depends on whether both streamings, center right and center left, are ready to join their forces and to establish and to construct a new coalition. They are now on the way to do this, as you may know. It is not finished. It will take more time, not that long as in the Netherlands or in Belgium or in other countries. And the reason is quite clear why. Because Germany is the center of Europe, not only in economy terms, but in political terms too. And if Germany could be ready to create a new form of model, political model to work hard in order to fight the polarization processes stemming from neoliberalism, then there is a good chance that France and Germany both could be the driving force again to re-establish and to refound, as Macron has questioned and is demanding a foundation of the European Union. This is necessary because the European Union could be, and I guess as long as Trump is President of the United States of America, will be the only anchor in the Western world to deliver that kind of conviction to the electorates in the Western world that this model, the European Union, could deliver a new reform-oriented process. So it's up to Germany to clarify in what way Germany could be a servant inside the European Union. And the questions are on the rise. If you take the question how to widen out the monetary system, European monetary system, then this is a question that Emmanuel Macron put to Germany. Is there a chance to make the European Union a better place, to create new possibilities that the monetary systems is better embedded into a political frame? And if so, then this could be and will be a starting point of what we have been seeing after the Second World War. And I would like to remind you all that Karl Polanyi tried to envision a new frame that capitalism could be, should be embedded into a political frame. And this is the real question of today: how to get rid of neoliberal, naked liberalism, naked market politics, to get rid of neoliberalism and to come back to a new embedded system that all the forces of progress, economy, and political ideas could be brought together in one new frame. This is what really is necessary to deliver, because this model is not only necessary for the Europeans themselves, but this could be a model that could be shown to the world that China, that kind of terrible capitalism, only in communist masquerade, or the terrible, unfortunately I have to say, model of India is showing, with the problem of human rights inside their own country, especially women, but not only, the caste systems and all that. So if you go down through the list of models that you could see, worldwide, Europe is called to produce a new form of reform-oriented system, and that could be the next phase in which we are living, showing the world that we are living in we could live up to a better world if we, all of us, are ready to deliver and to act. Thank you.